Hi, this is LOC645 coming to you today with a BuzzBee modification rope pull version. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the rope pull on this here, how to modify it so you can have a rope pull like this instead of having to bend down the barrel to cock it. I got this BuzzBee here from a thrift store for $1.29. As you can see, it's still wrote on there, $1.29. I thought I paid 77 cents for it, but I get it's still on there for $1.29. It's a BuzzBee. It actually was in the package here. It's a double shot BuzzBee blaster by BuzzBee Toys. It's the new version. This is the old version here. If you saw my other video, I showed you how to fix the plunger in the old version side by side double barrel. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be doing the rope version, and I'm also going to show you how to fix the plunger on this one, which I've already did it on my other video if you see my part 1 video. So here we go. I'm going to show you guys on how to take this apart. First, you take your door off by removing the little screws right here to take your door off, or your handle. And I've already cut this one with the saw. So you got a hacksaw like this right here. Get an adult to help you do it, because you will cut your fingers if you're not watching out what you're doing. So you need an adult to help you cut this in half, unless you're old enough and able to do it yourself. But ask an adult to help you. So what we're going to do is I took out the screws. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws to take this apart. And you also have to remove the rope. So you're going to have to take this here apart also to get the rope out. So I've already removed the screws, and I've already cut this piece right here. Hang on. I've already cut this piece right here with a hacksaw, and I'm going to be cutting the other piece, which is right down through there, which I'm going to be cutting the other piece. I'll show you guys how to do it. But this is the internals. Reason why this gun wasn't shooting properly is because of these little cylinders here where the rope goes. This one here is broken, and it wasn't allowing the primer to prime the rope to prime back the primer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these here, and I've already taken these screws out right here, as you can see, and I'm going to remove this, put it to the side, and the rope is right here. You're going to have to pull the rope up, which is right here. See? You pull the rope up, and then you can remove the barrel, which this right here is a spring for the ejectors. Make sure when you go to put it back together, you want to hook the spring back in place, like so, like that, and then that would be back in place where you can put the cover back on. But here we go. I'm going to show you guys on how to saw this part off and make a rope mod. So here we go. Remove your barrel, which is, you just remove that over here, set it to the side. I'm going to put the cover back over this, because we don't need this anymore. There we go. And then I'm going to remove the plunger, which is just like so. I'm going to remove the rope, and there it is. There's the rope and the plunger. The plunger here, you could drill out the little holes like in my first video. I showed you how to do it, and I also showed you how to glue this here onto the plunger, so that way it would have more air going to the darts. And your plunger also comes apart, so you can switch out the springs, and then when you switch them out, you glue it all back together. But I'm going to show you guys on how to do a rope mod the proper way. So I'm going to remove this right here, and I'm going to take this out right here, just like so. You see how I took that out. Now I'm going to take this over here to the hacksaw, and I'm going to hacksaw it. Ha! Here we go. Watch this. I'm going to saw this right here along the edge, so that way it'd still be sealed. So you get close up. This only takes a few seconds to do. There you go. See how I sawed that off? Now we're going to go back to the table here, and I'm going to assemble the gun. I'm going to put the gun back together, and then we're going to drill out the hole for the rope. So I'm going to put the plunger back in its place. There you go. And then I'm going to see where where the rope is going to go. As you can see right here, it's going to go right through there. So I'm going to put this back on like this. I'm not putting the barrel on yet. I'm just going to put this on so I can make my marks where the rope is going to be at. See right here? So I'm going to just put a little mark right there. Or you could use a pen, which I don't have a pen, so I just use my drill to mark it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put the rope back in. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the plunger back out, put this back together like so, and then I'm going to drill this out right here. So here we go. Get an adult to help you guys do this, because this is really dangerous, and if you don't know how to drill, you can end up drilling a hole through your hand. There you go. See how I did that? There's a hole there now so you can pull the rope through. So I'm gonna take it, put the plunger back in its place here, and we're going to, there we go. Now I got my rope in there. You can see there's my rope. You need to make sure there's no sharp edges here, because if there is sharp edges, it's going to cut your rope, and then you end up having to replace your rope. So you need to make sure that the edges here are nice and smooth for the rope to go through, because you don't want your rope to be cut. So there's that. This is nice and smooth here, so I'm not going to worry about that. I got the plunger back in its place. Make sure it's functioning properly. Now I'm going to take the barrel, put the barrel back in its place. I'm going to screw all this back in. Well, my trigger came off for the injector, so I'm going to have to open it back up and put that back on here. See, here's the trigger for the to reject the shells. So what I'm going to do is put that, as you can see, I put that back in its place. Put the screws, the cover back over, push it down tightly, and then screw this back on. There's a little bracket on this cover here that presses down on the trigger, so it locks in place once you get the cover back on, and it will work properly. You can see I'm screwing these screws back in with a small Phillips head screwdriver that I use to take it off with. Don't over tighten it because this is plastic, and if you over tighten it, the bolts are going to strip out and you're not going to be able to keep your gun together. So you don't want to over tighten the screws. Once they get tight, don't force them anymore. See the trigger here? The trigger operates these injectors, the buttons here to eject the shell. So that's working properly. So now I'm going to put the gun back together and show you guys that I fixed it correctly. And get the gun back together here. Oh, I got my plunger out. That's why it wasn't going in. You guys probably saw that and didn't tell me, huh? So, there you go. The plunger's back in its place. Now the cover will go over real easy. You just flop back in there. Let me get the barrel lined up. If it's not going in place like it came when it came off, there's something wrong. See how easy that went back in place? Now I'm just going to put a couple of screws in it, and then I'm going to test the rope to make sure the rope is working properly. Make sure that you're not pinching the rope here. I'm only going to put a few screws in to make sure that the gun does work correctly. I think I just cracked that one. I think you guys just heard it, didn't you? It cracked. That's the wrong screw. I need a longer one. I forgot the long screw went in right there. Yeah, keep up with your screws. Make sure you put them back in the correct way when you took them out. And once we get this last screw in, we're going to cock it, make sure that it's working properly. So there you go. This is the rope mod. It's back together, as you see. And now I'm going to cock the rope. I'm going to prime it by pulling it back. There you go. See? It works. And that's how you do a rope mod. So this is LOC 645. If you have any questions,